Welcome to the Yinzhers podcast, everybody. This is kind of a free form episode. And unfortunately, Sam's not with us because she is sick. She's sick.
We're just winging it.
Yeah, we're winging it tonight because everything is a free for all, you know?
And I'm not going to lie. I'm a
Day.
poor replacement for Sam. I'm not going to lie.
You're great, Stryker. Don't knock
so
yourself.
Happy to have you.
We're so happy to have you. Welcome to Yinzhers.
Oh, cheers. Thank you, lady. Thank you very much for having me to Yinzhers. I've been waiting to get on, and I'm happy to be here. So cheers.
Glad to have you.
Thank you for joining us, especially for this very special episode.
It's very.
We have been on the edge of our seats all day. Dealing with various media leaks and speculation on what the schedule would end up being. Lo and behold, we are again opening on the road. Surprise, surprise. We had the longest streak in the NFL for opening on the road.
7th year in a row.
Wow, that's unfair.
I mean, tell me the NFL hates the Steelers without telling me the NFL hates the Steelers.
Week 1 in Buffalo. That's
Week
it.
1 in Buffalo.
I don't mind that as much. I'd rather play Buffalo Bills week 1 than keep going up there and playing them in these December games. This is the time I want to see them. Yeah,
we've had very bad luck against the Buffalo Bills in December. The last couple of years, we have not played well against them. So it's the ideal circumstance to go to Buffalo and play this team with the talent that they have. So it's not that's not terrible, but it would be nice to have a week 1 game at home again, ever, maybe.
I do know that the last time we opened up at home, Antonio Brown kicked someone in the face. So maybe.
Was that the last time that we opened at home?
Yes.
Wow.
That's a great point, Morgan.
Maybe this is retroactive punishment for Antonio Brown's behavior. And can we just stop being punished for him, please?
The NFL
let him go.
The NFL has to clamp down on us. They can't have another "this is Sparta" moment in the NFL.
Man.
I mean,
wow, I forgot all about that.
One of my all-time favorite moments. Truly one of my.
It was pretty epic.
To start the season off, set the tone from the jump. I think that was 2016, 2015.
Yeah, that's 7 years ago, at least.
2014 or 2015. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he got the touchdown on that play, and they called it back because he kicked the kicker in the chest. Running over him. That was an amazing play.
Damn. Yeah,
it was. You have to do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, Morgan, you said that the Steelers have the hardest strength of schedule out of anybody in the NFL. So that is something. They're coming off of a season where they looked promising and then had a real collapse. And they had one of the easiest schedules across the league.
Mickey Mouse, cakewalk, whatever else we heard people saying all year, as if any game in the NFL is easy.
It's not. It's really not. I don't know why people. But now we're transitioning from that to hardest schedule in the NFL, starting out the season against Buffalo and looking at what could potentially be the final run of the Super Bowl for Big Ben. So there's a lot going on in this schedule, which makes it overwhelming, but at the same time, kind of exciting.
I mean, and I will say, because we just talked about it being the hardest strength schedule in the entire league. Yes, that's true. But in 2008, we also had the toughest strength of schedule in the league. And what happened that year? Tell me what happened that year. We won the
Super Bowl. Oh.
So a tough schedule doesn't scare me that much, especially with the Steelers. I think that we do a really, really great job of playing up to our competition. When we're facing a team that's quote unquote better or, more equipped to win a game than we are, at the time. So I have confidence that the schedule isn't going to end up looking as bad towards the end of the year.
And for me too, I wanted to make a point also with the new shortened preseason. The Steelers, who would normally be playing 3 games now, are actually playing 4 games because they have that Hall of Fame game against Dallas to make up that they didn't get to play last year, because we've got so many people like in the Hall of Fame coming out for that season.
No big deal.
It's not NBD, but so I do like pairing in the teams that have the most skin in the game for the Hall of Fame announcements and the people that are getting inducted. And this is a big year. Bill Nunn being added on. You've got Bill Cowher. You've got, the safety. Why am I?
Troy.
Yeah, true safeties. Troy Polamalu and the old Shell, right? Donnie Shell?
Yeah, Donnie Shell.
I swear to God, when you said the safety, and I'm thinking, Troy, Troy.
One of the best of all time. Oh my goodness.
I was thinking Donnie Shell first. I mean,
okay.
I actually just assumed Troy was already in the Hall. I assumed like at birth they were just like,
that's fair.
Give him a gold
he was
jacket.
Born into the Hall of
Fame. Really.
Swaddled in that golden jacket. Yeah.
I mean, truly.
Yeah, this whole schedule is different this year because across the league, we have 3 preseason games for each team, but we're moving to 17 regular season games, which is wild. And looking at the fact, like I have the graphic pulled up week 18. I'm like, wait a minute, what? My brain is short circuiting trying to get that to compute because we have an extra game in the regular season. And that is a lot to take in for some reason, even though it is just one game.
It's so true. And I mean, you look at the schedule as a whole, and normally a week 7 bye would be virtually mid-season, a really, really good time to have a bye. And even with that one additional game, it makes it look like it's a relatively early bye.
Yep.
It is.
And
definitely great call.
That screws us as well.
Yeah.
So not a fan of adding that game. I just...
For a team that had 0 buys last year.
Yeah, 0 true buys. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's difficult, and hopefully we won't see as many postponements, different schedule adjustments this upcoming season as we did last season, because it seems like all of the COVID restrictions are starting to lift, and not just with capacity in the stadiums, but with the team restrictions and who's allowed to travel and what they're doing and how they're monitoring all that stuff. So I'm at least hopeful that we won't see any modifications to the schedule once we get going. So that will be good, because the Steelers got boned a ton last year with all of the different COVID things because of other teams who refused to comply with COVID regulation, which it still just drives me nuts that we were at the butt end of all of that stuff because other teams were like, you know what? Screw that. We're going to do what we want to do, and we're going to not wear masks, and we're going to hold these practices when we should.
Coaches are going to test positive for COVID and still come into the facility, run practices. When the facility's shut down, we're still going to work out together. The inability of 3 other teams to follow COVID protocol, and then the Steelers getting the shaft every single time. When we followed protocol, when we handled everything correctly, when we never had an outbreak.
The Steelers set the protocol too. Like they really took it seriously.
Right. And then we face repercussions, and the Ravens get what? Fined? BFD.
Yeah, whatever. That's so chump change. That's nothing.
Exactly.
And I'd be really upset about it if it didn't end up working out in our favor in the end. Yeah, we lost the first playoff game, but Cleveland and Baltimore got to advance, which means we got a better draft slot than both of them.
True.
So, screw them in the end. But hey, it sucks that we weren't able to be at full capacity with that the 3 games and 12 game scenario with not a week and a half after it like you normally do when you have a Thanksgiving game, but instead playing the next week. So that's I don't think that's ever been done before, is 4 games in 19 days. I think that's the first.
Yeah.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah. And I mean, you could just see it on the guys taking the field. You could see how drained they were. And I mean, no one can blame them, because no one knows what it feels like, because no one's done it before.
Yeah.
And the NFL has never asked anyone to do it before. But of course, I'm not going to play the victim and say the NFL actually hates the Steelers the most, but like it is just so obnoxious. At some point, you have to kind of question, like, okay, like why are other teams getting favored in situations where they dropped the ball?
Yeah.
It's not.
Did anybody lose a draft pick? Did Tennessee lose a draft pick or Baltimore over that? I can't remember.
So.
Baltimore did not.
Yeah.
I think like San Fran or New Orleans lost it. Somebody lost a draft pick.
I thought Tennessee.
New Orleans?
I don't remember if it was San Francisco or New Orleans. I thought one of them screwed up too.
I know they did say that one team lost a draft pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, hell yeah, that means the Ravens might lose one too. But no, that didn't happen. Of course, that didn't happen.
And we got to play a Wednesday afternoon game. Do we have any Wednesday afternoon games on the schedule? I'm hoping that we get a Wednesday afternoon game.
3:30.
1 o'clock and Wednesday? 3:30, yeah.
Relive that.
When everybody is at work.
But still, it like the viewership for that game was through the roof. The amount of people that tuned in to watch a 3:00 game between the Ravens and the Steelers was
shows you the rivalry is alive and well. Speaking of that, real quick before we go on to other schedule stuff, did y'all see Marlon Humphrey say that he could hear Ben calling out the routes to the players when they played us? I think it was the second time.
No, I
okay.
And you still lost, dude. So
and you still lost.
Still couldn't
That's
stop
my point. So
right.
You literally had the cheat codes, bro. You were playing with cheat codes. You were playing with what's that cheat code in the sim? Megaload, and you still couldn't bring it home. Why would you admit that? Why would you say, yo, I knew exactly what plays were coming. I knew exactly what routes everyone was going to run. And I had time to tell my teammates, and we still couldn't. I mean,
couldn't get it together. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Anyway, we also have 5 primetime games this year.
Sam says hi on Twitter here. She misses us.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
We miss you.
We feel better.
Yes.
We love you.
Sending you some herbal tea.
And we need to pick games to go to after this, Sam. So stand by.
Yes.
Yep.
We have 5 primetime games this year, guys.
Good.
And that's tied for the most in the league. The other teams with 5 games are the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Saints, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Bucks.
That's a lot of teams with 5 games.
A ton, but I mean, doesn't that seem really lopsided then? If all of those teams have 5 primetime games, then where's the primetime for the rest of them?
Does Jacksonville need a primetime game?
No. But I mean, with Trevor Lawrence and now Tim Tebow.
It's Tim Tebow, guys.
Yeah,
it's Tebow time. That's why they don't need a primetime game, because it's Tebow time.
Oh my Lord.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So 5 primetime games, that's not bad.
No, and my favorite one is we play the Browns at the very end of the season at home. I think it's week 17, so not the last.
Yes, it is.
Second to last at home Monday Night Football. I'm pumped for that one already. I can't wait.
Because the playoff implications, I mean, the last 2 games of the season, the Browns at home and then the Ravens in Baltimore. Those are our last 2 games. That's going to be huge. And I'm assuming that with the way that the division shaped up last year and the way that everybody drafted this year and the trajectory for the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers, the division could very well still be up for grabs in those last couple weeks. Like those are going to be 100% games. Yeah.
It's like this schedule, looking at it, how they lined up those division games. It's a recipe for revenge.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you.
Last month though, last 4 games.
Yeah.
Tennessee at Kansas City, Cleveland Browns at Baltimore. We got to win in December to make the playoffs this year.
Unleash hell.
Unleash hell.
Here's hoping we finally do that.
Oh,
God. I feel like that's been like 11 years. Yeah.
Seems like our Decembers have sucked since then.
They really have. Since we made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Last December, I would like to forget entirely.
And the December
Forget December is one of my favorite songs by Something Corporate.
Oh, the December.
Y'all don't know it. You should listen to it.
I'll look it up.
Good stuff.
Forget December, new theme song for Yinzhers.
Nice.
I'm too busy pumping all the classic Christmas songs in December to care about any other type of music that's ever existed. So
oh, I know. Same. I do that the second Thanksgiving ends. Actually, I do it the second Halloween ends.
I was gonna say November 1st. That is the start of the Christmas season. November 1st.
Me too.
I can't start Christmas on my birthday. No.
Okay,
Sure
you get a day of grace. Actually,
for me, it's Thanksgiving.
I'm your birthday is the best idea.
That would be incredible. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I ever want.
What's
to start Christmas on my birthday.
I'm gonna do that this year, meaning Christmas starts August 26th.
There you go. Perfect.
My brother was actually born on Christmas Day. So we have like strange birthdays. I'm the Halloween baby. He's the Christmas baby. We've got a nephew that's St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Drinking those Guinness right out the womb.
Just hit college too. So he's loving it now.
Oh, I bet.
So let's go over the primetime games and what they are first. Like week 6 against Seattle at home is the first one on Sunday night.
Nice.
Obviously, that's going to be hopefully a retribution game because that was the game that Ben got hurt in 2 years ago. That's a game that I'm looking forward to. And that's the reason, like, I wouldn't expect to play Seattle for another 2 years, except that the league has created that extra game.
Right.
We had to play the first place team of another division, which happened to be Seattle. So a team that we played 2 years ago at home, we are now going to see again at home. So that's, to me, that's going to be a really interesting matchup.
And watching our defense go up against Seattle's offense, like Seattle's defense is meh. They're not bad. They're not great.
I think
the
Legion of Boom anymore.
Yeah, they really are not. But Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf,
like
Tyler Lockett.
Who do we put on DK? That's my question.
I don't know.
Who's covering DK Metcalf?
No one's covering DK. It's a league-wide problem. You got to bracket. It's like that. You cover him with one person. You got to bracket the guy, and hopefully he doesn't.
Just kind of like flank him with Joe and Minka and maybe Terrell. Just send everybody. Devin Bush, like get everybody over there.
Send the house every time straight to DK. I swear there were a few games last year where DK, and I only know this because my boyfriend had him on his fantasy team, right? And we would argue all the time because I'd be like, maybe you should play this receiver this week and not DK. And he's like, DK, you don't sit DK. You always play DK. Like he's one of those guys. He's plug and play every week. But there were a few games where I was looking at him like, I told you, because people did shut him down a little bit. And I just need to know what the recipe is for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing it with I love our defense. I think that we're grade A as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The secondary has we'll see, because that's the point of contention that I have right now, especially because I think we need to sign another corner, but a veteran corner, but
I'd be all for that. I'd be all
so
he's still out
covering there. DK in week 6 on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's
TBD on DK.
TBD.
Oh my God, which it makes. I love it. I mean, I guess at least they have the entire preseason and first 5 weeks of the season to kind of figure it out. Like it's not like they're going right into it against that, but I mean, they're starting the season out against, Stephon Diggs, and
I was just gonna say,
that other guy, the blonde-haired one, Beasley.
Beasley.
Yeah, thank you. I can't remember his name because I can't take him seriously because he has long blonde curly hair.
Me neither. And he was like a second ballot or second team, whatever, all NFL, whatever this year.
He's good, but it's just his hair. And that's so superficial of me and so judgmental, but I just cannot get past the hair. And I just
sunshine.
He slips my mind all the time because I'm like, your hair, dude, cut it or something. I don't know. You get it together. But yeah, the Buffalo Bills are tough. So hopefully that can kind of like get the Steelers defense in a place where they can look ahead to that first primetime game where they're like, all right, so this is what our secondary is doing. This is what we have. This is what we're working with. And here's how we can address the DK Metcalf situation. Cause I'm with you. Like we do have a really solid defense and a really lockdown defense against the run, but it is that pass that gives me pause a little bit.
Right. And the thing that I do take a little bit of solace in when it comes to DK is we do have an elite pass rush. So if we put some pressure on Russ, he has his weaknesses. He's not,
Yeah. 4 years in a row leading the league in sacks. So let's see if they can make it 5 and have had a sack in every regular season game for the past, I think 5 years now. I think, because James Harrison was the person that started that sack streak. So 50 some games now. And there's a couple people at least joining in here as well. Thank you, Kenneth Beamer, for the shirt love, my Stronger Together shirt that I did pick up there. Nice. Cheers for that. Also stating Kenneth wanted to stay that Pittsburgh is still Kings of the North. Tamara over on Twitter stating the Saints are the team that lost the draft pick due to the COVID violations.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then Kenneth, of course, saying double team DK. And Colton's asking, what am I drinking today?
Yeah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an IPA today. This is one of my. This is like a DC joke. It's because Surrender Dorothy.
Oh my gosh! I love that.
So it's like a Wizard of Oz reference, but this picture right here is actually the Mormon temple, and
near DC,
in the northern side of DC, and the greatest, most ironic instance of vandalism that I've ever seen is on a bridge on the outer loop driving west at the 12 o'clock mark on the 495 outer loop. Somebody spray painted Surrender Dorothy, as you see this there. Wow. So it's just amazing.
That's cool. I love that.
That's pretty awesome.
It's where
People
graffiti
are so
is
creative.
art. Yeah.
So this beer's an homage. What's the brewery?
This one is the local one. Which one is this one? This is Seven Locks Brewing.
Nice.
And they're in Booksville, Maryland. Yeah.
Love that. I remember when I worked for ABC News and I was going to Baltimore actually to shoot a stand-up with Rachel Nichols. And I'm on my way there and I see that tabernacle and I had never seen it before. And I was like, what is that? Like, I had no idea. I was young. I had never seen like a huge Mormon temple or tabernacle before. And I was like blown away. Yeah. I called my friend and I was like, what is this big white crazy building? And she was like, oh, the Mormons.
They like big temples.
They do.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yes. Back to football.
Back to football. The next primetime game that we have after week 6 is our first Monday night appearance, week 9 in Chicago.
No, at home.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
At home against the Bears. We had a lot of primetime games at home. Like.
Let's do it. Let's roll with it.
I love that.
And Tomlin's got a great primetime record.
Let's go.
Yes,
that's when I want to play games. Primetime.
So this will be the first we see of Justin Fields, assuming that he's the starter and not Andy Dalton.
I love seeing Andy Dalton though. Man.
Also, doesn't Nick Foles still play for the Bears?
Like Nick Foley and Dynamite?
Yeah. Isn't that like wild to think about? The fact that the 2018 Super Bowl MVP has just kind of faded into oblivion in Chicago. Like that 100%. That bums me out. But anyway, that's a total sidebar. But yeah,
you're right though. He's on there. He's their third quarterback.
Crazy behind Andy Dalton.
Imagine come on, playing Nick Foles behind Andy Dalton.
Yeah, respect the man. Respect him.
I mean,
God.
Hey, he's got a Super Bowl win. That's all. Yeah. That's all that matters. That's great though, having him as a backup, especially as your third guy. That's
for sure. That's depth.
Deep quarterback room. We think we have a good quarterback room. That is a solid.
Yeah, who did say that? Well, I haven't heard that. I've heard we have a quarterback room.
Well, we at least have people that have started in the league with Rudolph and the new guy that we picked up from the Washington team,
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. They're both starters in the league. I mean, albeit Dobbs is still yet to start, but he's made big plays every time he's walked on the field. So I wouldn't like to say we're 4 deep, but we do have options, is what I'm saying. It's not just like
fair. Yeah, we do have options.
It's not like us in St. Louis, who used to be on, or was it St. Pierre? St. Pierre, who used to be on that team.
Brian St. Pierre.
Brian St.
My
Pierre.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a backup that doesn't even worth having.
A throwback backup. God.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks, this is a total tangent.
Let's
go.
Who
do you think is the Steelers' most capable backup in history?
In history?
That we've ever had. Best backup we've ever had.
Probably would have to be Terry Bradshaw, because technically Terry Gilliam was was the
so a backup who never became our starter, for the long term.
Charlie Batch. I have to go Charlie Batch.
Yeah,
Charlie Batch. I have to say Charlie Batch.
There was no doubt.
I love me some Leftwich
backup.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Leftwich is the other one that was thinking in my head.
He couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, that was the issue.
Stayed healthy. He was always the guy that came in.
So reliable.
Gabe saying Vic could be a good one.
He was solid. Yeah, he was solid. But I don't consider him. Yeah, because he was a starter with Atlanta for such a long time that he doesn't feel like he fits into that category of backup. Like he was just a backup here because that was his only real option. But
if we're talking about league wide, I think the most insane career for a solely backup quarterback has been Chase Daniel. That dude has played on so many teams, keeps getting contracts, and then when he plays well. He is very capable of making things happen. He is such a reliable backup. He's my age. We grew up in Dallas. We know each other. We both went to Mizzou. I only went there my freshman year, but obviously he played at Mizzou for all 3 or 4 years. I forget how long he was there, but he's been in the league since 2009. Yeah.
A long time. Yeah.
A long time as a backup, just coasting.
Yeah.
Love it.
I feel like Josh McCown is another good one. He's kind of floated around from team to team, but he's always been not just a reliable quarterback, is second, third string, whatever position he's fallen to, but he's really good at coming alongside quarterbacks and the guys who are in that starting role and kind of sharing his experience and his leadership. And I feel like he's kind of been the unsung hero of a lot of quarterback rooms just because of the experience that he's been able to and wisdom.
Presence.
Yeah.
Right.
My guy league wide is Fitzmagic in the beard. Man, that guy's done 9 teams.
Right. But he's been a starter too. You know what I mean?
Well, he ends up having to start because every place he goes, the quarterback gets hurt. Yep. It's like he was the guy early on in his career, but it's I
felt so
backups. I understand.
I felt so bad for him last year when he got benched for Tua. I get it, but he was so vocally excited about that being his team and feeling like he finally found his place, and then get out.
Yeah, and then they called on him again later in the season because Tua was struggling. So that poor dude. God, and he's the one backup that I would look at and say he could be a starter. It's not just he's a really good backup. He's a really solid quarterback. And when he did come in, I remember that I can't remember the specific, but there was one play the last season where he came in after they benched Tua, and he got knocked around and somehow hit in the butt and still made some kind of ridiculous pass down the sideline.
It's Fitzmagic.
Yeah, it's Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
He has some kind of edge to him that is unlike any other quarterback in the league, and he's so fun to watch. And I'm with you. I'm just bummed that he hasn't really had an opportunity to be the guy for any organization.
Right.
And Tamara's given us a shout out as well on Twitter. Thank you for the shout out. I listen to your podcast every week, ladies.
Oh, we love you. Tamara is one of our most loyal fans. She's awesome, great.
Tamara.
We love you, Tamara.
Yep. And Jog is asking some questions too. Just a quick one. What do you think the Steelers' most used offensive formation will be with the new weapons?
Wildcat. 100%. Yeah, they're going to go to Wildcat every single play.
I mean, I am just begging, please God, not the shotgun.
God, mix it up. Even if it's just single back, like every now and then.
Yeah.
I formation, anything.
I'd love to see some 2 tight end sets. I want to see Ben under center, even though I know he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Suck it up, Ben. Suck it up.
You're going to have to take one for the team.
Yeah. I personally think we're going to see a lot of pistol next year. I was
going to say pistol. Yeah.
Ben, partway back, we're going to be switching it up definitely with tight end packages, multiple running back packages. That's the thing about Matt Canada's offenses is the diversity of the personnel that he throws in different situations to optimize the ability to create mismatches on the defense. Like we have an actual offensive coordinator now.
Yep.
Like
right.
we haven't had and he's an X's and O's guy. So like I'm super excited to see the diversity of the offense that we're going to see moving forward to create the mismatches to be successful.
I totally agree that versatility is going to be something that we were missing last year. And I mean, sorely missing. So I'm so pumped for that. Our primetime game after that Bears Monday Night Football game comes just 2 weeks later, Sunday Night Football again at the Chargers.
Ooh.
With Justin Herbert, yikes.
Yeah, this will be our first time playing Herbert. I mean, I love playing the Chargers because we always seem to have their number, but it will be really different playing Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good.
Very different playing Herbert, playing them in LA. You know, this one makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, they're on the up and up 100%.
They really are.
And they drafted really well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. 100%. I feel a little bit nervous about this one. This one's on November 21st, so it's the week before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Wow. We'll either be just hitting our stride, ready to go, or having taken a brutal beat down in 10 weeks prior.
Like that, to me, this is the light part of the schedule is when right after that, the bye, you got the Browns, which is still going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
You got the Bears, you got Detroit Lions, then we got the Chargers, then we have Cincy. Like,
right.
That's probably the easiest part of our schedule, and our schedule is not easy by any way, shape, or form.
But that's going to be the run that is at least the moment to
like
to
a little
breathe
bit of a breather.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. And that is the month of November because right after Cincy, that's December 5th, Baltimore Ravens.
Boom. Yeah.
Yep.
And then
God.
Yeah. And then it's back to work. And we got a primetime game at the Vikings the following week.
Week.
Yeah.
That's Thursday night via Amazon. So I'm excited about that. Thursday Night Football on Amazon.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, they got that deal. That'll be really interesting. Can't wait to see that.
Yes, it will. Is Kirk Cousins still the guy there? I'm very disconnected from Minnesota.
Yeah, I have a friend that was a Washington fan, became a Minnesota fan because of the way they treated Kirk Cousins.
Interesting. All right. I mean, they treat him like royalty. Whether that's right or wrong, but that's interesting. All right.
Gabe saying all of Cali will be at that LA game.
Good.
Obviously. Also noticed, wait, Jordan is drinking something other than beer. OMG.
Yeah, I'm drinking Sexton Irish whiskey today because I needed something just a touch stronger than beer. So
after my hockey game, I'm gonna have some whiskey to ease up my joints because I don't take ibuprofen. I have like a shot of whiskey. That
works even better, I think.
It does. Plus it puts me to sleep. Like a baby.
That's right. God, yeah, I'm not drinking beer. So thanks for noticing. I feel so seen. Oh.
It's very high society.
I truly
with the whiskey.
Yes, I'm so classy.
Having the drama of the Irish whiskey over there, are you there, Jordan? You enjoying yourself there tonight?
You know me and how much I am weirdly obsessed with Ireland. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Oh, I love the place. Have you been there yet?
No.
Not to get
I
into it.
really wanted to go. Like I
We
was
will
planning
talk
on going last year, but
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I really want to go. I don't know. I do know where my obsession started and it makes no sense. But anyway, yeah. Someday.
Awesome.
Someday.
You'll love
Yep.
it. You'll love it.
So we have prime time against the Seahawks, against Chicago, against Minnesota, and then what's the next one?
The next one, oh wait, did we miss one? You missed the Chargers.
Oh, Chargers,
Minnesota.
Yes.
And then the final game is week 17, Cleveland Browns at home, Monday Night Football.
The final primetime game.
That's going to be so good. Oh my God. Jeez. Beginning of January. Yikes.
I mean, the season is going to last. The final game of our regular season is January 9th.
Yes. We have two January games regular season. Both division rivals. First 2 weeks of January.
And week 16 is Kansas City.
Yes. Like we said, yeah. December, the last 4 games are just
Arrowhead.
Brutal. It's
going to be so.
Great point, Morgan.
Freaking rough.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Either we're hitting our stride and we know who we are. Like the one thing that I am very, very, very confident in is our ability to play with any team when we have a full complement of our healthy defense.
Yes.
Keep those inside linebackers healthy throughout the year, like Bush saying, because it's Shazier and Bush going down, they hurt us. Keeping all the other linebackers there healthy. Roche even helping out with the rotation on the edges there for Highsmith and TJ. And then we returning our entire 7 deep defensive line that we had last year. Plus we drafted a guy that they're comparing to Cam. So, it's just going to be a really interesting, like our front 7, I'm very confident with. Cornerback, I'm still waiting. I'm with you, Morgan. I think we should do a little adding free agency here to try to figure out somebody just come here and just to put a stamp on
veteran presence back there. I mean, like, we have vets on the Joe Hayden, thank God he's still here.
Yeah.
But like, we need to just beef that secondary up a little bit with another veteran. Yeah. I just would love to see us bring someone in. I don't know what the likelihood of that is. I know we signed a ton of undrafted free agents. Some of them are corners who we thought were going to be drafted, Shakur Brown, for example. But schedule's looking fierce, ladies and gentlemen. Fierce.
Yep. But that's good because I think that either we'll find out very early on that this team doesn't have what it takes to make it. And then we can kind of just enjoy the season for what it is, kind of like a couple of years ago when we had Duck and Mason, or whenever I said whenever, like it's going to happen. I guess that's where my mind is. Whenever we do really well, we can say, or at least come at people who are trying to take that approach. Like, well, you had an easy schedule. You're 11-0 because you haven't played anybody. Nobody can say that this season.
I just had an argument with that somebody today, and I'm like, we beat the Ravens twice. We beat Tennessee. What else? Oh, those are good. Those are playoff teams. I'm like, we didn't have an easy go of it, dude. It's like we had 3 games. We had 4 games in 19 days. That's what screwed our season. And everybody got hurt.
And it goes back again to, it is hard to win in the NFL.
It is.
Period.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a gimme game. There's no such thing as an easy win. It doesn't happen in the NFL. These are elite athletes. Let's stop talking about, you just beat this team. Yeah, this team of the 0.0000001% of athletes in the world. Yeah, we did. Thank you for the compliment. I'm so annoyed with that. People they don't get it. Regular people, like not elite athletes, don't understand how hard it is to win at this level. And strength of schedule matters. Of course it matters, but we've won the Super Bowl with the hardest schedule. So it's not like we can't do it again. Yeah. Week in and week out, the team has to show up no matter what.
Yep.
If we show up and we play to the opponent's level, which is a high one based on the strength of schedule score that we've been given and based on how the national media has been reacting to this schedule, like, oh my God, the Steelers are going to win 2 games. the Steelers are going to be the worst team in the NFL. Like I've heard it all today.
Yeah.
And I'm just, laughing all the way to the bank because that's when we do the best. We do the best when people are underestimating us. Like put that chip on our shoulder.
Baby. First 6 seed in the history of the NFL to win the Super Bowl. Like that's where they thrive.
Exactly.
And that was one of my favorite things that Coach Tomlin said all season long whenever I can't remember what the specific game was, but people were asking him if it was a trap game, if he felt like it was a trap game, if it was just some kind of like, it should be an easy win, but maybe it'll be a struggle. And he responded like, this isn't some kind of like college team that we're going up against, some kind of SEC versus whatever other. I'm not super into college
American
football, but like
10.
American 10, Big 10,
yeah, like one of the lower divisions.
It's not like this mismatch opposition. It like no matter who you're playing in the NFL, they're professional athletes. Like even Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence now. It's not like you're going up against these no-name weirdos who can't figure out where the ball is. Like for the life of them.
I'll tell you who Jacksonville doesn't have. Tyson Alualu.
They don't.
They don't have Tyson. They don't have him.
That is dirty. They do not.
Suck it, Jacksonville.
Suck
it. We got our guy.
Yeah,
we did for less money. So
yeah. Oh,
whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So looking at the schedule, I mean, do I feel nervous? Not any more so than I did knowing that we are going into a 17-game season. For sure with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder after last year and how the playoffs played out. How everyone's been talking about this team. I mean, we're certainly not going in with an overinflated ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I think that's who the Steelers are at their core. They're humble, hungry, smart. They work hard, they put their heads down and they grind and like, they're going to make it happen. And optimist, hello, whatever. I don't think that just because we have a lineup of the best teams in the NFL at this point, I don't think that means anything about how successful we'll be this season. I'm still expecting a playoff appearance. I'm still expecting a run. I'm still expecting to be a contender at the end of the day. So
with Ben there and the defense we have and the talent we've got talented receivers.
I was just going to say the receiving core alone, like if we can get Matt Canada's offense off the ground, the sky is the limit with that offense, truly. And with Najee Harris, like I'm so excited, y'all, to see what he can do. Yeah. I am so excited.
God, it's going to be amazing.
I thought about that today and I was just getting amped up because I just feel extremely, extremely positive about what we've got on that side of the ball. And I already know how I feel about the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
So,
well, and on the up and like, our offensive line at the end of the season was ass. It was, but look at the pieces that we lost and look at the pieces that we're regaining. Like, and the pieces that we added, like the offensive line is not the same as it was in the wild card game against Cleveland when we couldn't get the ball out for the life of us. Like it's just different.
Exactly. And part of the reason why the offensive line was so ass trash, TM Boom. Jordan DeFigio, is because we were running schemes that personnel was not built for. Like it's a mismatch all the way down. So you look at that line and you look at the things that were being asked of them when we're calling running plays, and it's just the wrong personnel for the schemes that Randy Feitner was running. So, there are a lot of things at play when we talk about the failures of that line and the failures of the offense last year. And a lot of those aspects that we can fault for those things are not there anymore. So
it's different. It's different. And I think that the addition of Najee Harris and the retention of Juju Smith-Schuster, like our offense is better than it was last year.
Yeah.
we saw a drop off in Ben's play. Yeah, we did. Whenever our offensive line started to have a dip in their play, like, but even then, Ben tried to find opportunities to make up for that. And in the game against Cleveland, like, it wasn't his best game, but my God, he threw for like what, 700 yards in that game. It was insane. It was something like ridiculous. He was trying to single-handedly will the team to victory. And
100%.
So this idea that he's washed and can't throw the deep ball and can't see the field or find guys or whatever people are trying to say about him, like, he's not as mobile as he was when he was 23, because he's not 23 anymore. I'm not as mobile as I was when I was 23. My God, I'm almost 30. And it's like, it happens over time. Wow. But like, I'm
twice 23 now. I've doubled it.
I mean, you look at Justin Herbert's stats from last year, and they're not as good as Ben's, but we're talking about him as an up and comer in this league, one of the best quarterbacks in the next 2 to 3 years. And we're talking about Ben like he's washed and he put up better numbers. Miss me with the bullshit. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Just because you don't like certain deep passes that he threw, bite me. Like, truly bite me, because you cannot tell me that Ben Roethlisberger didn't do everything in his power last year to win games. Period. He's a competitor, like, to his core, and he will be this year. And I have zero concerns, absolutely zero, nada about Ben.
And I've got a point too about the early part of the schedule. We talked about the middle part of the schedule having a luft. It seems like the early part of the schedule after that game against Buffalo, playing the Raiders. I know the Raiders have our number. Don't get me wrong. I know they have our number, but they should be one of the easier teams we're playing there. Week 2, week 3 is the Bengals. Still trying to get everything together with their new offense. Then we got the Green Bay Packers week 4. I'm sorry. And
who knows if Aaron Rodgers will be there?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like, that's like a question mark right there. And then we have the Broncos, and the Broncos are still trying to figure stuff out.
The Packers did sign Blake Bortles today.
Ooh.
Which we know that he's in the same tier, if not better than Aaron Rodgers, right?
And he would definitely start over Jordan Love.
Yes. Great delivery on that one, Jordan.
Thank you.
Right. You put that one in the act. That's a good one.
Same tier. They're neck and neck.
Yep. Easily. But they're both Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Easily.
For sure.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. I just remember the Blake Bortles from what's that called?
Oh, The Good Place.
The Good Place.
Yep.
Blake Bortles!
Yeah. What's his name? Oh my God. I can't remember his name, but that one guy always talks about Blake Bortles.
Being the Jacksonville fan.
What's his Jason?
What's Jacksonville?
Jason. Yes, it's Jason.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's from Jacksonville, and then he died, and then he went to The Good Place. The Good Place. That's a whole other thing.
It's an epic show. Yeah. It's a COVID watch. You have to watch the good
yeah. Place. But so it's going to be a season, guys. It's going to be
I got my puppy.
Season.
Broncos, like you said, Stryker was going through. Broncos at home. Seahawks at home. Then we go to Cleveland. Then we have a bye. Then Cleveland. Then the Bears at home. Lions at home. Then we go to LA. Then we go to the Bengals. Ravens at home. Go to Minnesota. Tennessee at home. Go to Kansas City.
Sheesh.
Cleveland at home. Go to Baltimore.
Ooh,
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's the season after that.
17-0. That's 17-0 easily. That's
easily.
Easily walk in the park.
Easy money. Playing with house money, guys.
Though we will be, if we go 17-0, just keep in mind that the press is still going to label us as the worst 17-0 team to ever play in the NFL.
Mickey Mouse schedule.
Well, to be fair, I was very defensive of the Steelers whenever we were like 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and everybody was saying, "Are they the worst 7-0, 6-0, 7-0 team that we've ever seen?" It's like, no, shut up. They're undefeated, and then they ended up being the worst 11-0 team that ever existed. So I like
11 11-0 is 11-0, baby.
It is. It is.
If our team was playing with our full complement in the first 11 games as they did in the last,
and that's fair. Yeah, because our defense was hurt.
Much better team.
Decimated. Decimated. If we had a regular bye, I mean, if only in butts.
No.
If only in butts. Yep. And Randy was calling the shots on the offense. And I think that no matter who we had, that was going to be our downfall because of the play calling. It really made no difference because it was just so predictable. It was so predictable. So going into this season, regardless of the strength of schedule, which it's going to be a beast, it's going to be killer. We at least have the opportunity to see somebody else running the offense and hopefully having the wisdom to know when to let Ben do his thing, but also step in and be like, Ben, you aren't running the offense because you don't have to. It's my job. And I think that that's kind of like, that's a fine line that we need to see towed a little bit, because Ben does tend to like just run with things and go with what he feels comfortable with. And I think that it's going to be really crucial for Matt Canada to be like, yo, dude, I'm the offensive coordinator, not you. Like, you can, if you want to run with something because you see something, fine, but you can't just go rogue.
Override.
Like, And I think that that's going to be critical. Yep.
You're absolutely right. I think before we wrap this episode up, we need to do a buy and sell segment. Brought to you by Infinity Trades X. If you guys haven't checked them out, please do. Awesome trading resource if you're interested in the stock market, if you're getting started, or if you're already in knee deep. Just take a full dive with them. Great. If you want to find them on Twitter, they're at Infinity Trades X, and their website is infinitytradesx.com. All right, let's start with the buy and sell. It's not going to be Steelers related, but this is something I am very interested to get your takes on. Tim Tebow signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars as a tight end this week. Stryker, are you buying that or are you selling it?
Well, I'm buying it, but unfortunately, it occurred 8 years too late. Jacksonville had their opportunity to fill their crappy stadium 8 years ago when he was a free agent, and the Jets took him, and then the Jets released him. And then when the Jets took him, he was technically a tight end / backup quarterback / special teams, because he was playing the up back spot on punt team. I remembered that. So, you know, I personally think he can play the game of football. Personally, I think he's one of two quarterbacks that got blackballed for kneeling for different reasons, albeit, but I think the guy can personally play football. I enjoyed watching him this season. He was the Denver quarterback. I think I watched all of their games just because they were just
one game.
Yeah, well, you guys saw the one, but I knew all year how good he was. He was really.
I liked him. Yeah, I liked him that year for sure.
And so it wasn't a surprise. It sucked. It sucked to lose to him, but it wasn't a surprise to me to lose to him in that playoff game as much as it was to everyone else that didn't really get to see him play and watch how he won all of his games by the defense keeping it close, and he finds a way to win at the end. That was their rule to winning games.
Why does that feel familiar?
Right. Because it happened. So I think yes, I think he's got a shot of making the team, and I think he'd be a good influence because he's always been an excellent locker room influence. So that's something I'm interested to seeing if he can be from the leadership perspective and maybe help out their new quarterback come along as being even though he's a tight end, as being an extra possibly quarterback coach.
Right. He's got the Urban Meyer tie. So,
Yeah, because it's local. That's why you put him in a stadium, they're going to pack it because Tebow's there.
Right. Jordan, what's your take?
Gainesville ain't far.
From a PR perspective, buying, but from an actual productivity angle, I'm selling. I think it says a lot about the state of the Jacksonville Jaguars that they went out and signed a former quarterback who hasn't been in the league in like 5 years.
He has not been on a 53-man roster since 2011.
He's been playing baseball, minor league baseball.
So he's been in
It's
baseball.
just something I have an issue with, but it's not my turn. So
right.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that he's not a great athlete. Like, you can be a really solid athlete, but not worth taking a chance on in that way. Like, he seems like he's in a great shape. Like, he seems like he's a really hard worker. Like, I have no issue with him as a person or as an athlete, but like, I'm just not buying into this whole thing of him coming back into the NFL as a tight end for the Jaguars. Like, it seems very kitschy. Like, I don't know. I'm not, it doesn't affect me on a personal level. Like, if that's what they want to do, then, like, you go for it, have fun. You're just going to keep imploding because you're the Jaguars and Urban Meyer is your coach and you were like 1-15 last year. Like, that's the trajectory of your team. You go for it. You do you, boo. But like, I'm not feeling it. I just am not there with it. The news really caught me by surprise, and I was like, Tim, who? Wait a minute, Tim Tebow
is it 2012?
Right.
What year is it?
Steeler Nation is agreeing with you, Jordan. Kenneth Beamer, Scarecrow, they're all selling. Yeah, a lot of sells here online.
It feels weird.
I'm siding with Steeler Nation on this one. I very vehemently disagree with this decision. I'm selling the shit out of it. The thing is Tim Tebow is 34 years old. And I have been extremely vocal in my belief that does not define a player. His age, there's no one size fits all box for a player to fit in. And when he reaches a certain age, you kick him out of the box. That's not it. I don't believe in that. I do believe that there are more deserving fringe guys. They signed Tim Tebow as the 6th tight end on the depth chart. There are so many fringe guys who deserve that opportunity. So many more who deserve their shot in the NFL, more so than Tim Tebow does at this juncture.
I don't know, but I'm on the opposite end. I don't think Tim Tebow should have been pushed out the way he was pushed out, not given any opportunity.
No, I agree. I like Tim Tebow as a person. I love what he stands for.
But I do understand what you're saying.
He is shamelessly himself and very vocal about what he believes in, and I respect the hell out of that. And I have always been a fan of Tim Tebow. There comes a time when you have to look at this for what it is, and he is taking an opportunity from someone else, period, point blank. And that's what it is. He's 34 years old. He chose to walk away from football, and then he chose to play baseball and take a spot from outfielders who had been working their whole life for that roster spot, but the Mets needed money. So, and now he's doing the same thing in football.
Was he in Double A or Triple A?
He played in both. He was never going to be a big leaguer, and the Mets knew that.
Okay.
They knew that. It was a look at me, buy tickets, come see Tim Tebow, the clown show play. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he was the clown show, but that's what it was for them. It was a spectacle. And my boyfriend personally, being an outfielder, was looking for jobs. And then Tim Tebow comes in and takes an outfield position in the minor leagues. And I have a problem with that. I always had a problem with that. And now I have a problem with it because he's taking jobs away from young tight ends who are trying to make it in the league or looking for their opportunity, because you're only going to get so many. And if they were going to sign a 6th tight end and it wasn't going to be Tim Tebow, then it would have been somebody else. And I just have a severe problem with that. I'm not okay with it. If Urban wants to bring Tim in, bring him in as a coach, bring him in as an advisor, He'll
still have to make the team. Like you're saying, he's the 6th rated tight end on the team. He will have a very tough chance of making the team. And I'd have a tough time stating that another person being the 6th tight end on the team would have a shot at making the team either, as we know how depth charts normally go. And most teams only keep
or a practice squad.
That's why I was like a big Scott Williamson fan. I always wanted him to make it from England. He'd been hanging on the team roster for years and years and years and just never pulling it up. So I do understand the point, but this is I don't think he's going to make the team.
Yeah.
There's some points here too. Scarecrow stating it's funny that he would have fit better in the league now as a quarterback than he would have prior back when he left the league.
You know what?
Right.
It's so true. And I saw this today. Someone asked, someone asked on Twitter, who's a player from your team in the past who would have been more successful in today's NFL than they were when they played? Cordell. And someone said Cordell, and I was like, "Oh my genius!"
Yeah, Cordell.
He would wreck.
Yeah,
because he's Lamar Jackson, but an actual quarterback,
he can run. Yeah,
with skill at that position.
Plus, he can run. Yeah. He can run for a touchdown longer than 40 yards. So
right.
That's what I rubbed that into
package. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, all that being said, at the end of the day, he signed. Good for him. I hope that he finds joy and some sense of self in this journey as a tight end in training camp, as a camp body, or whatever he ends up being. I really like Tim Tebow, and more power to him.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. So
I'm not either. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna come to anything really.
It's a great first question. I love how polarizing this question is. So I can't wait for this.
We don't have a lot of buy or sell questions that are polarizing. And when I thought of it, I was like, I know I personally feel very strongly about this. So maybe other people will too.
Yep.
I'm glad I got to play the other side.
That's the thing. It's like Jordan, Sam, and I are always on the same page. Stryker, it's nice to have some contrarian argument in here.
Yes.
Polite contrarian arguments.
Of course. Always.
And Jaug is saying, OMG, Steve Young. Steve Young would also do really well.
Steve Young. Yes, he would.
He'd kill this era.
Absolutely.
He'd absolutely slaughter this era. Yeah.
So interesting to think about stuff like that.
I know.
It really is. Takes your mind somewhere else entirely. It's crazy.
And I think we're getting back to the point too in the NFL. We've had this big divergence of getting away from the running game, moving away. Tennessee was really kind of coming back hardcore with it. You've got a big commit with New England now, jumping with tight end, double the going out getting 2 huge free agent tight ends,
right?
To big running tight end sets. Like I think that the flip is going to start coming back, and you're going to start seeing teams push to a power running game and start utilizing a power running game, because it's just the way that the pendulum is swinging this time. It's like,
well, it's all cyclical.
And it is.
Yeah, it and I think that's the foolishness that you see in the NFL, or just in sports in general, maybe even in life, if we're going to get super philosophical. But like people will take the current trend and be like, this is the way that it's always going to be forever. So don't invest in running backs because they're dead. They're not worth it. And I think that a lot of that was influenced by the Todd Gurley signing and the Le'Veon Bell holdout. And then you see these guys like fade off into oblivion, but that doesn't mean that the run game is irrelevant. And it comes back around. Like everything is constantly changing.
You're exactly right when you say it's cyclical, and there's a science to it, right? Because what will happen in the NFL is everyone wants to run the offense that's working, the Pat Mahomes offense, or back when the West Coast offense was first a thing, everyone started running a West Coast offense. But the thing is give it a few years to sink in, and now everyone's running this offense. Well, defenses are now figuring out how to stop that offense. So of course, when that happens, you have to go to something else, come up with a new solution. So it's always going to be cyclical. It's always going to be, here's the new method. Okay, now we have an answer to that method. Now you just switch up the method. It's always going to be cyclical. And it's so interesting to me how it's just like fashion. Things go in and out of style, but it'll always
come back.
And one good point is going to be Mel Kiper is always wrong, because he shat upon us for taking a first round running back.
Get out of here.
Immediately, running back ETN went immediately after our draft pick as well.
Right.
Didn't seem as upset with that, but that's also a guy that loved the Richardson pick at number 4. I think a couple years back, thought that guy was going to be the next coming, and he never even really played in the league well at all. He was given a couple chances. And Cleveland drafted him. Cleveland or Indy, somebody like that. I know he's on both those teams, but forget which way he went. He was just a non-factor, like top 10 running back non-factor. And that's when, from that point on, Mel Kiper's like, oh, I guess you don't need a running back in the first round. You can get them anywhere. You can get them after the draft. They are you anyway. I'm talking, this is actually my dog's voice. This is the voice I use for my dog, but Mel Kiper's pretty much the same way.
Yeah. Well, and I think that whenever San Francisco played Kansas City in the Super Bowl in 2020, they had that whole running back by committee approach. And I think that everybody saw that, and in the wake of the ridiculous running back contracts that were signed and then proven to be totally pointless. Like, I think that people were like, you don't need a top tier running back. And they just took that and applied it to everybody. And we're like, if you just do a running back by committee approach, then you're great. You can draft whoever, whenever, and you can grab anybody, whenever. Like, but whenever you take any one idea, copy paste it on top of other teams and just assume that it's going to work, that's where it gets a little weird. And like, and my issue with guys like Mel Kiper, like, if you don't like a pick, then just say, I don't like this pick. I don't agree with it. I don't feel like that's a good fit, whatever. Blah, blah. Just own the fact that it's a personal opinion. But whenever you start to speak out on it like an authority, like, no, they shouldn't have drafted Najee Harris. Who else the fuck you would have wanted us to pick?
Right.
Like, you asshat. Like, he was the best at his position that we desperately needed, because our number one running back, who, as much as I adore James Conner and a solid guy, like, he was never a game-changing running back. He was solid at best. Like, we need a game changer in the backfield with an aging quarterback. So it's just like this contradictory thing where they always want to throw shots at Ben, and like, he's not good, he can't throw, but they shouldn't be investing such high draft capital in the run game. What are you talking about? Pick one. Like, either we need to invest in the run game because Ben's aging and he isn't who he used to be, or he's great and solid and we should be investing in protecting. Like, it just, God, they drive me crazy, and I could go on for hours.
It's so annoying. They want it to be as simple as like a formula that makes sense for everything. And the formula is, don't draft a running back in the first round. They never make it to the Super Bowl until they do. That's the thing. Until they do. People are not statistics. People are not numbers. This isn't math. Like, we're not, and that's the issue I have, if we can take it back to baseball with Moneyball and all that, the analytics and bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, these athletes are not their statistics. They're not anyone's statistics or a set of numbers, or however you want to make it work together in your little system. It works the way that you say it works until it doesn't. And that's it. Kiper can say all he wants.
You're right too.
First round running back won't take you to the Super Bowl until he does.
Because that happened to the Steelers when they drafted Rashard Mendenhall in the first round.
Exactly.
And he had a fantastic year, fantastic playoffs, was the reason why we were in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, everybody remembers the fumble from the Super Bowl, but forget about how impactful he was that season and how integral he was at getting us there.
Rashard Mendenhall was a great running back.
He was great. His career was tainted by a really unfortunate play in the Super Bowl. And then his response to that play.
He's a really great guy too. Like, I have nothing but great things to say about him. And I was so happy when we got him, and he was great for us. So we're just gonna have to get over it. There are other players who could have done more in that game too. So I'm not gonna put that fully on him.
That's true. I'm not either. Just so you know what's going on in my room right now, I've got my dog on my lap and I've got her in a chokehold because this is the cat's room. The door is ajar and the cat is outside, and she's a hunting dog. So she's like full focus on this cat while in this room.
So, ready to go.
Yes.
Well, we'll let you go because we've taken up way too much of your time.
No worries.
Thank you so much for picking it with us tonight.
I've enjoyed every minute with you ladies because I love talking football, and no one better to talk to than the knowledgeable people of Yinzhers. So thank you very much for having me on the Yinzhers podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
I guess I'm the second male on here. I think Joey was the first one, right?
Joey and then Chris.
Juju.
Oh, Chris, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, no, it's not going fourth.
We've had a few. It's fine. You're good. You're the
I'm
first.
number 4.
Yep. She's number 4. That counts for something. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. No, thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Thank you.
As always, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Yinzhers and on Instagram at Yinzhers Official.
Yes, and we will see you next week, either Wednesday or Thursday, for our next episode. So make sure you tune in.
And I may be on tomorrow morning at 11:30 with Dan Lust, the sports attorney. That's what we're trying to work toward for tomorrow.
Perfect.
All right.
Tune in to the Sam Nation podcast tomorrow morning, guys.